On the wedding day, Noah's first love who had gone abroad came back. She held the critical illness notice and smiled brokenly. "Noah, I thought you would let me wear a wedding dress for the last time." In order to fulfill her wish, Noah gave her my wedding dress and changed into her bride. He locked me in the dressing room, and through a door, he sounded impatient. "You and I still have a long way to go, so what's wrong with you letting her go?" Later, the rich boy who had a crush on me bought out Noah's company stocks and used the opportunity to propose to me. Noah begged me with red eyes, "Are you going to ignore me for him?" I took a step back. "You and I have no future. Why should I care about you?" On the wedding day, the makeup artist opened and closed the makeup box several times. "Aria, why don't we put on some makeup first?" I looked out the door anxiously. Noah seemed to have received some phone call and hurried out, never to come back. "Put on your makeup first." The wedding was about to start in half an hour, and my phone on the table lit up. "Your man is good. He is mine now." "Oh, and your wedding?" The picture accompanying the message shows a girl holding a mobile phone with a smile on her face, being carefully embraced by a man. From this angle I could only see the back of the man's head, but I knew it was Noah. I know this girl too, Noah's first love, Luna. The wedding dress she wore was the one I carefully designed, and it was the only one of its kind. I remember that Noah took the wedding dress away once and said he wanted to change some details. I took a screenshot on my phone and sent it to Noah. "Is this the detail you changed?" "Noah, I need an explanation. Will our wedding still go ahead?" Noah quickly replied to me, "Wait until I get back, and it will be held. I don't want to just throw away 7 years of relationship." There are still 10 minutes until the wedding starts. Noah came in hurriedly, beads of sweat on his forehead. Perhaps it was out of habit that I felt heartbroken, but I swallowed all the questions. "Aria, the wedding will go on as planned." Noah looked at me with deep apology in his eyes. I didn't ask further, and turned back quickly with a halo on my face. "You came back so late. I didn't have time to change into my wedding dress." "You don't have to change." Noah put his hand on my shoulder. "You don't have to be here today, Aria. I'll make it up to you." I stopped all movement. People really laugh when they are angry. "What do you mean?" I looked at him carefully. He was not wearing the suit I carefully selected. Although it was similar, there were subtle differences from the cuffs to the bow tie. Noah subconsciously avoided my eyes. "The hospital has given Luna a critical illness notice. Wearing a wedding dress is her last wish. I can't let her leave with regrets." Luna is Noah's first love. In those years, she and Noah were recognized as a couple in school, a perfect match with both talent and beauty. But the Liu family fell into trouble, and she went abroad during Noah's most difficult years. Came back again a month before our wedding. When she came back, she stubbornly refused to look for Noah until the hospital could not contact her relatives, and then they called Noah. At first, I respected her patience and self-control. And I also felt sorry for her because she was a girl who was seriously ill and had no relatives in the country. Noah repeatedly told me that he only cared about and sympathized with Luna. It was not until the last time the community was closed and Luna cried and asked Noah to accompany her that I realized that she was not as innocent as she seemed. But after that, there was nothing different about Noah. In addition, he would discuss with me every time and decide not to go if possible. That's why I have been patient. But when did they decide to change my wedding? Noah avoided my gaze. My heart aches with cold. This chill even moved back and forth between the bones. "Noah, what about me?" My eyes are red. She wants to fulfill her wish at my wedding. So what does that mean for the wedding I've been planning for so long? From the wedding process to the handwritten invitations sent out, I prepared for more than half a month without sleep. I didn't sleep all night yesterday. And Noah and I were imagining how wonderful today would be. I thought I could be the most beautiful bride at the wedding and live up to our 7 years of relationship. But now, what does this mean? I'm waiting for his answer. Noah was impatient. "You are so ignorant. You and I still have a long future together. She is going to die. What's wrong with you giving in to her?" I know Noah. He's a very gentle man. This was the first time he spoke to me loudly after 7 years of dating. "For another woman, I'm sorry." Noah scratched his hair irritably. "The wedding is about to begin. I will make it up to you later." "Noah." I followed his footsteps and chased after him, but all I got in response was a closed door. Noah is gone. Through a door, the wedding march sounded. I was standing there in my wedding dress lining, like a clown. Just because his first love was dying, I deserved to have everything destroyed. During the wedding, the staff suddenly came in and turned on the electronic screen in the dressing room. "Aria, this is Ms. Cheng's order." As the staff left, my phone flashed. It was my mother calling, but I couldn't pick up the phone. Then, the wedding scene appeared on the big screen. Luna, wearing the wedding dress I carefully designed, stepped on the magpie bridge that I spent several nights making, with a happy face, and walked towards Noah step by step. The blessing I wrote became the praise that the MC read to her. The initials on the custom-made wedding ring were her name. The filmed past became a shared memory for her and Noah. Even the wedding photos that I took great pains to shoot had their faces replaced by AI by her. Sadness, struggle, and thousands of emotions, like little bugs, gnawed from my heart all the way to my skin. It's itchy and painful, nowhere to vent. I was shaking weakly, the fingertips, ankles, and every piece of skin that was injured by the fatigue of the wedding were clamoring. I made adjustments thousands of times under the scorching sun just to present the best photos that day. It became Luna's wedding dress. I saw Noah smiling at her lovingly. Noah also smiled at me, but he had never looked at me with such cherishing eyes. After seeing love, I realized how obvious it was that he once didn't love me. I hugged myself and tears fell uncontrollably. The camera turns. My parents were actually pinned to the corner and their mouths were gagged. "Dad, Mom," I stood up in shock. "Noah, how could he? How dare he?" I banged on the door frantically. Let me out, but the only response I got was the cheerful wedding march, from anger to powerlessness, and then to clarity. I looked in the mirror and removed my makeup, changed back into my original clothes. This wedding was not mine. My wrong choice has brought shame to my parents. "Noah, it's rotten garbage. I don't want it anymore." The wedding process was lengthy. I wanted to use a grand process to witness our happiness. Now it has become a torture for me. Everything was over and the lounge door was opened. Noah was standing at the door, his face full of fatigue. "Aria, I will make it up to you. I will also explain to my parents-in-law." I didn't let Noah finish his words. I raised my hand and slapped him a few times. "Boss Lou, this is my resignation letter. I have always been gentle and capable, and have never been so unreasonable." Noah was stunned. I passed him by and never looked back. "Aria," he called me. I ignored him and strode towards my parents. There were still red marks on their faces from the previous incision. All the aunts and uncles surrounded them and talked a lot. I said, "It's not a good thing for a girl to be with a rich man, Aria. Has she been played by someone? She thought she could win over some domineering CEO, but in the end, he didn't even fancy her. It's really shameful. TSK, you have to teach this kid a lesson." I stood in front of my parents, looking at their embarrassed and angry faces. The sadness in my heart spread little by little. I didn't care that they were relatives and elders, and I retorted, "Aunt, which eye of yours saw me hanging out with a rich man when I started my business with Noah? What kind of person was he?" "Second aunt, you said education. Why didn't you say anything when Noah gave you the bracelet? He changed me at the last minute because he was fickle and had a low character. If I had known this earlier, I would never have chosen him as my boyfriend." I pushed the relative away and didn't notice Noah standing behind me, let alone the sadness in his eyes. On the way home, my parents didn't ask me anything. "Just be careful. Let me take care of myself and not be sad for irrelevant people." Parents love their children and never care about gains or losses. After sending my parents home, I went to the house where Noah and I had lived together for 7 years. As soon as I opened the door, a familiar smell hit me. I was terribly lucid, but my heart felt like it was weighed down by a stone. My tears piled up on the stone, feeling salty and bitter, but I couldn't cry out. There is no way to release the bitterness that has been swallowed. Breakfast made by Noah on the table. I was afraid of delaying the wedding and not having time to eat. Next to it is the casserole Noah bought specifically for my menstrual cramps. He would watch over the casserole and carefully help me simmer the nourishing soup for several hours. Over the years, every bit of kindness Noah has shown me is replayed in my mind inch by inch. When Noah's family business failed, Luna left the country alone despite her engagement. Noah that I pursued. I was attracted to him because of his infatuation with Luna. I pursued him for 3 whole years, and on the eve of graduation, he finally agreed. At that time, I excitedly treated the entire department to a meal. I thought he had let go of his first love. Everyone also smiled and blessed me, saying that if I kept thinking about it, it would eventually pay off. After we got together, he was really nice to me. He remembers every bit of my likes and dislikes and tolerates all my shortcomings. The most tiring time of starting a business was because I mentioned that crabs are fat in autumn. He drove hundreds of kilometers, came back to cook me some fat crabs, ate with me, and then drove back to work. I buried my head in the pillow, tears streaming down my face. All the tenderness in the past was not fake. Only now do I understand. He is still the same Noah, but the person who made his heart beat was never me. I stayed in the house for a long time, but in the end I didn't take anything. Noah doesn't love me. Those memories and objects were stolen from others by me. It's been 7 years, and it's time for me to wake up. I made only one phone call in the house. I called the CEO of Noah's rival company, Aria from Lulin Group, and I'd like to apply for a position in your company. I lowered my eyes. Noah was really thoughtful. He even named the company after both of our names. But how happy I was then. How indifferent I am now, because now I understand that he was just fulfilling his responsibilities, the responsibilities of a boyfriend, not being sincere to a lover. The CEO of Xinghua Group was very interested in me and asked me to meet for a talk. The location is in his office. Standing in front of the office, I wrinkled my nose. Every time we met, he wore a different perfume. Aria, welcome. The rival boss was wearing a crimson suit. He was already bright and flamboyant in appearance. And against the backdrop of the crimson color, he looked even more beautiful, like a demon. It's just that his happy face, coupled with the red suit, looked a little weird. Mr. Song, is there any happy event in your family? I asked. Mr. Song smiled even more. The defeat of the enemy is my greatest joy. Aria, it's a great pleasure for you to join our company. I don't have any requests, just one. To bring down Noah's company. He placed his forearms on the desk, his narrow, peach-shaped eyes sparkling with a smile. I nodded in agreement. After all, I was the one who built up Noah's company. I don't blame Noah for not being able to let go of our old relationship, but it is impossible for me to give up Noah's company, Noah's desire to fulfill his first love. But I want to take back everything I brought him. Mr. Song, I also have a request. I put the file on the desktop, which contained Luna's simple information. Help me check this woman. I want to know her every move over the years. I don't believe that Luna would be so coincidental. When the Lu family failed, she happened to go abroad for treatment, and when Noah revived the family business, she happened to come back. I have no interest in Luna, but what she did to me cannot just be brushed aside. With the same goal, Mr. Song and I hit it off immediately and saw the same smile in each other's eyes. On that day, I became Mr. Song's only female secretary. My job change caused quite a stir in the circle. Everyone knows that Lulin Group has 2 cornerstones. One piece is me, and the other piece is the old man who is the gatekeeper. The old man controls the security and rent of the entire company. The customers and orders I have ensure the jobs of the entire company. The fact that Lulin Group was able to gain a foothold in the industry in a short period of time was closely related to my drinking and talking business without regard for my life. Noah sent me a lot of text messages over the course of a few days. He wants me to go back. Also sent me a photo of the custom ring with my initials engraved on it, but I don't need it anymore. I didn't reply to any of his messages. I didn't even read the follow-up messages. There is a lot of work in a new company. Although we are in the same industry, as an airborne secretary, I have to convince others. The next time I saw Noah was at a business dinner, and I was there as his opponent. After giving a speech on behalf of the Xinghua Group, Noah stopped me on the stage. He should be living a good life without me. The haute couture suit makes him look very elegant, a mixture of the sharpness of a young man and the maturity of a middle-aged man. He is at the best age now. And a single look from him can make a young girl fall in love with him. Everyone present knew that I was the recognized future boss lady of Lulin Group, But now I was attending on behalf of Xinghua Group and was stopped by Noah. For a moment, everyone looked like they were watching a good show. Noah lowered his voice. Luna's surgery was successful. We will have nothing to do with each other anymore. Arya, there is nothing wrong between us. Really, Mr. Lu, let's talk business. You're telling me all this, aren't you trying to build relationships with me? I said with a half smile. Luna at the wedding, there was no choice, even if his body didn't cheat. What about his heart? Looking at his aggrieved look, I couldn't help but feel disgusted. Noah have to say, but Mr. Song came over and separated me and Noah, his peach blossom eyes full of coldness. Boss Lu, harassing my employees is not the behavior of a gentleman. Or do you regret that your company cannot survive without Aylin? The word Alan he mentioned made me shiver all over. Noah's expression also changed. His eyes wandered between me and Mr. Song, and finally he turned and left without saying anything. At the subsequent banquet, Mr. Song followed me closely, but Noah almost gave all the partners to me, just like feeding them resources, and his eyes, always filled with melancholy, passed by me. He knew I couldn't stand seeing him sad, but I, who felt sorry for him, was locked up in the lounge by him himself. Coming out of the party, I felt a little upset. President Song closed the car door, and suddenly leaned on his head, half lowered his peach blossom eyes, and sighed. Secretary Jiang, I am not as good as others at pretending to be sad. What should I do? When I looked up, I saw his weak and sad appearance and was stunned for a moment. Why didn't I realize before that he was so handsome? When my parents called me, I was still in shock. My dear girl, please come over. My mother sent me the hotel address. Noah came to my house early this morning with gifts. It just so happened that my relatives were also visiting our home. My parents couldn't refuse to accept the offer and agreed to go out for dinner with Noah. Inside the hotel, as soon as I walked in, I saw my dad scolding Noah. Noah lowered his head and kept apologizing to my dad. I could see that my parents were softened by his attitude. Seeing me come in, Noah eagerly helped me with my bag. As soon as I raised my hand, he knew what to do next. It is said that you should not hit someone who smiles at you, but I cannot bring myself to chase him away. Arya, I was inconsiderate before. Noah just apologized to me and didn't make any demands. I nodded with a stern face. During this meal, he was busy running around me just like he did when Luna was not around. Noah was really nice to me. I even had a ridiculous idea. It seems like forgiving him would be a good idea. Luna can never appear between us. The cell phone rang. He hung up twice, and the third time, he looked at me quietly. I know, this is Luna's call. Take it. I put down my chopsticks. He pressed the answer button, quickly covered the phone, and whispered to me. Luna fell on the way to get medicine. It seems to be serious. I looked at him, saying nothing. The atmosphere at the table became increasingly tense. On the other end of the phone, Luna's coquettish voice came. Brother Chuan, did I bother you again? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You don't have to come, I can do it myself. Then, there was the sound of something being moved, followed by Luna's exclamation. Don't move, I'll be there soon, Noah blurted out. My dad put down his chopsticks heavily. Noah hung up the phone and looked at me awkwardly. Arya, Luna has no relatives here. Go ahead. I spoke calmly and pushed the shrimps on the plate away. I really want to slap myself for being so ridiculous just now. Luna is pretending, I know it, and Noah knows it too, but he still wanted to go. He would never learn to keep his distance from Luna. Just like we made a mistake at the beginning, Noah hurriedly apologized to my parents and walked away, leaving me alone to face my parents. I sat in the chair and my eyes turned red. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. I thought I wouldn't make them worry anymore, but I failed. There was silence in the box for a moment. No one in our family spoke a word. No one wants to embarrass the other. At this moment, the door of the box was suddenly pushed open. Xiaolu, you, my mother half stood up. The person outside the box was not Noah. It was Mr. Song's particularly flamboyant smile. Uncle, hello aunt. I said I would visit you, but I didn't expect to meet you here. Mr. Song closed the door and came in very naturally, with a decent and polite smile. Alan, haven't you told your uncle and aunt yet? Seeing Mr. Song winking at me, my mind was confused. Say what, uncle and aunt? My name is Song Yensi, I'm Aylin's boyfriend, and we've been dating for a while, Mr. Song put his arm around my waist without saying anything. Facing my parents' puzzled looks, I gritted my teeth and said, "Oh, yes. I've been too busy lately and forgot to tell you." As soon as I finished speaking, Song Yensi was like a blooming dogtail grass. He poured a glass of wine and started to compliment my dad. "Uncle, I heard from Aylin that you like to drink old wine. I prepared a lot for you and will have someone deliver it to you soon. Aunt, I bought you a jade bracelet specially before, but Aylin always said that it was not the right time and would not let me see you." He looked aggrieved, as if I had really bullied him, and threw away all the things Noah brought. After a moment, an assistant brought up what he was talking about. The wine happened to be the same mung bin wine that my dad was craving. The jade bracelet is something my mother has always wanted but couldn't bear to buy. My parents' expressions relaxed and they both smiled. Song Yensi remained calm and destroyed all evidence of Noah's visit. I even heard him secretly tell the waiter to feed the dog with the plate of shrimp. Song Yensi is very good at talking, and he made my parents happy with just a few words. "Uncle, don't worry, I have liked Aylin for 10 years and I will definitely treat her well. Do you know why my company is called Xingyue Group?" Arlin once said, "I wish I could be like a star and you could be like the moon, shining brightly every night." You don't know how we clapped our hands until they turned red. From now on, Aylin will be the moon and I will be the stars. We will surround her every day. Song Yensi talked a lot of nonsense and drank with my dad under the table. I kicked him secretly. I originally asked him to act with me and appease my parents, so how come he became addicted? Before going home, my dad hugged Song Yensi and forced him to promise not to bully me. Song Yensi called him Big Brother all the time. You don't know how fierce Aylin is. Big Brother, let me tell you, I dare not bully her. She is the queen. Song Yensi gave my dad a thumbs up. I really couldn't help it, so I picked him up and walked out. My mother also held my father, who could hardly stand, and wanted to go find his brother. When I left home, the smile I had been forcing couldn't be maintained anymore. "Mr. Song, thank you," I said softly. I've seen how Song Yensi can drink 1,000 cups without getting drunk, and I know he's just trying to cooperate with my dad. Song Yensi stood straight at this time and walked beside me silently. Actually, I didn't lie. I tilted my head to look at him. In the night, he seemed particularly quiet. He was very different from his usual self. There was a kind of beauty flowing with sadness, like an elf that had fallen into the human world and was stained with dust. "I've really had a crush on you for 10 years. His voice exploded in my head. I tried hard to recall, but I couldn't remember a man named Song Yensi in the past 10 years of my life. "I guess you don't remember either. You were busy forcing the president to drink, got yourself drunk, vomited all over me, and told me you would give me your body to compensate for my clothes, but you forgot about it the next day." Looking at Song Yensi's resentful gaze, I suddenly recalled that dark history. At that time, I had just entered university and was curious about everything. I joined a club and gave pretentious speeches every day with the senior students in the club. Thinking about it now, I still feel ashamed. Later, the club had a party and everyone was drunk. I remember there was a little boy with medium long hair. He was quiet and always hid in a corner by himself. That day I didn't stand steadily and fell on him, under the influence of alcohol. I lifted his hair and found that he was more handsome than the whole society combined. "You also said that you wanted to keep me all to yourself, and told me to call you queen and not to sleep with anyone else." In Song Yensi's sad gaze, she looked like a concubine who had been thirsty in the harem for a lifetime. I kept my head down, knowing nothing could bring the dead memories back to life. "Later, you started pursuing Noah. Later, you quit the club and rarely talked to male classmates," Song Yensi said. "I remembered that I have always been talkative and cheerful, and that was the first time Noah got angry. He said those men had ulterior motives and asked me not to get too close to them. At that time, I just thought that he was cute when he was jealous. Now that I think about it, he clearly knew how to avoid suspicion. He clearly didn't even want me to smile at a man, but he still goes to accompany Luna again and again, trampling on my bottom line. It's not that he doesn't have any feelings for Luna, and maybe it's not that he doesn't like me, but I want both. The more I understand his thoughts, the more disgusted I am with him. He once said that he hated people who didn't cherish the people around them the most, and he himself was such a person. Then why you later challenged Noah's company was not also for me, right? I suddenly felt a little dizzy. Song Yancy nodded decisively. I can't stand him treating you like a donkey in the production team. Thinking about the early stages of starting a business, this metaphor is really appropriate. But at that time I was full of passion for love and never expected that this day would come. I smiled bitterly. Song Yancy suddenly stopped, his beautiful eyes shining like stars under the moonlight. So, Senior, come to my house tonight. I staggered and looked at Song Yancy in disbelief. I have already found the information you want, but the file is a bit large, so I sent it to my home computer. Song Yancy looked very innocent. I was still tempted by the news and went back to the villa with him. He didn't lie. There was indeed a lot of information about Luna. Luna did not go abroad simply to seek medical treatment, but to avoid the Liu family. Later she married a wealthy businessman, but later the businessman also fell into poverty. She took away the rich businessman's remaining property and returned home again. He made up a lie that he was seriously ill. In fact, she didn't have any illness. The so-called medical records were all made by herself. I just want to see Noah rebuild the family business and win him back by using his first love's identity. During this period of time, she did a lot of things abroad, and any one of them is enough to be explosive. After reading the last page, I leaned back in my chair, squinting my eyes slightly, and a plan had already formed in my mind. Senior, Song Yancy's voice came. I turned around and saw the door was ajar. He lay at the door like a puppy, looking at me pitifully. Senior, I've thought about it. We have met the parents and entered my house together. The next step is that I will propose to you. Will you agree? As he spoke, he opened the door and knelt on one knee. While I was looking at the information, he actually changed into a white suit, but he suits white very well. This clean color brings out his gorgeousness to the extreme, while also covering him with a veil of abstinence. The ring on his hand also sparkled under the light. I feel a little confused. Mr. Song, you get up first. Not only did he not get up, but he looked at me with even more passion and a hint of grievance. Senior, is it because I can't cry? If you like watching people cry, I can learn. Who cannot be moved by a sincere man? You get up first. I softened my voice. Song Yancy, you know I've invested a lot in Noah. I'm not sure if I can still love someone like this. You have to give me some time. At least we can talk about this after Noah falls. Good. Song Yancy lowered his head slightly. And when he raised his eyes, he smiled brightly. Senior, let me give you love. As long as it's enough, you will love me. That night, I couldn't resist Song Yancy's pleading gaze and stayed in his villa. I didn't tell him that my dad didn't get drunk during that meal. He texted me after I left home. My dad told me that Song Yancy is better than Noah and asked me to give it a try. If I want to remain single for the rest of my life, that's fine too, as they will support all my decisions. Noah contacted me again. After what happened last time, I blocked him. My parents wouldn't see him either. He could only block me at the company gate. What happened last time was really an accident, he explained eagerly. Noah, this is the first time you've told me about an accident. I interrupted him and looked at Luna, who was following him. In just 3 days, Luna had become his secretary, replacing my position. He opened his mouth, but was speechless. Ever since Luna returned to China, he has been having accidents one after another. Neither you nor I are children. We are done with this. You should pay more attention to your own company. I turned to leave, but Noah suddenly reached out and grabbed me. But halfway through, he was blocked by another pair of big hands. Song Yancy stood beside me and put his arm around my waist. Boss Liu, this is a bit unkind of you. You can rob people at the entrance of the company. By the way, Mr. Liu should be more careful in the future. Just hold your secretary's hand and don't harass my head of the family. The 3 words head of the family were pronounced especially clearly by him. Noah's face turned pale instantly. I tilted my head and kissed Song Yancy on the face. While Noah was in a state of dismay, he and Song Yancy walked away. In the days that followed, Noah never contacted me again. His company has become a mess without me. Many clients were only willing to do business with me, and followed me directly from Lulin Group to Song Corporation. Even the few that stayed chose to terminate the cooperation after connecting with Luna twice. Luna knows nothing about business and just clings to Noah. Not only can he not help, he also causes trouble. Noah's good temper towards her was completely worn out. My former employees have been contacting me frequently recently. It is said that Luna takes it out on them when she is upset with Noah. Many people can no longer bear it and are ready to run away. I watched Noah's company's stock price drop day by day, just waiting to see it collapse and go bankrupt, but I didn't expect that I would be able to meet Luna again before Noah's company went bankrupt. I signed the contract with the supplier and sent him downstairs. Luna suddenly jumped out, pointed at my nose and called me shameless. You seduce other men every day. You are the one who seduced this order, right? The supplier's expression changed instantly. He turned sideways and kept a distance from me, but he was looking me up and down. Luna continued to yell and curse. I threw a glass of water on her face. Calm down. Who did I seduce? Noah, I asked coldly. Luna suddenly became angry again. You seduced him, otherwise why would he ignore me? Everyone around her looked at her as if she were a fool and whispered about her. The wedding incident made such a big fuss. Who didn't know that she was the mistress? Even the supplier found out what happened and looked at her with some contempt. Noah arrived just in time. He was no longer as high-spirited as before, and his eye sockets were deeply sunken, which showed that he was really worried about the company these days. But he didn't even glance at Luna, but walked up to me. Aria, I know I was wrong. I beg you to give Noah's company a chance to survive. I took a step back and looked at Noah coldly. He didn't know he was wrong at all. He just tasted the bitter fruit and didn't want to suffer it again. Noah, it's impossible for us. Instead of asking me, you should ask Luna. I remember that the Cheng family also has a lot of connections. You may be able to use them. Hearing what I said, Luna's eyes lit up. Yes, Brother Chuan, why are you begging her? As long as you are willing to marry me, I will give you all the connections in the Cheng family. A few days later, I received an invitation to Noah and Luna's wedding. Looking at the bright red wedding invitation, a smile appeared on the corner of my lips. Noah left that day. He said sorry to me again. I don't know what he was saying sorry about. He was self-righteous and thought that Noah Group no longer needed me, so he cared less and less about me. Or he ruined my wedding because of Luna's words. I don't want to know anymore. As for his wedding with Luna, it was my intention to arrange it. I've known for a long time that the Cheng family is in decline and has no resources to help Noah, but if I don't let them lock me up, I'm afraid my revenge won't be enjoyable enough. On the wedding day, I worked with my traders to crash Noah's stock market. All suppliers and distributors have withdrawn their orders. Noah Corporate Group is completely ruined. Noah rushed to me, still wearing his groom's clothes. Why? He asked me hysterically. I admired his collapse and laughed. I asked you the same question. What did you say then? Noah, we don't have a future anymore, so what's wrong with going bankrupt? Don't be so ignorant. Watch him step back step by step and sit on the ground like a funny clown. I didn't feel as happy as I had imagined, nor did I feel as sad as I had imagined. Instead, I felt extremely calm. Noah, when I followed you, you had nothing. Now, I am just taking back everything that belonged to me. You ruined my wedding, Noah muttered. I looked down at him and said, you ruined my wedding, too. He sat on the ground, curled up into a ball, holding his head, and cried bitterly. Jiangaria, you are so cruel. You make me feel like the sky has fallen. I looked at him coldly. When I was locked in the lounge and saw my parents being pinned to the ground, didn't I also feel like the world had fallen on me, Mr. Liu? It doesn't matter. The sky that has collapsed in your place will be brightened up in my place. Song Yanci walked out from behind me and proudly put his arm around my waist. He threw Luna's information to Noah. Mr. Liu, take a look. You didn't deserve to be defeated. Every page of that information recorded how Luna had deceived him step by step. It also stated how he cheated me step by step. Everything he thought was his due was earned through my hard work. But when I was wholeheartedly planning our future, he secretly transferred the assets of Noah Group and played me like a fool. He must have been very proud during that period, right? The woman who had seen him through thick and thin, and his first love, were by his side, allowing him to strike the right balance. It's a pity that if you want everything, you will get nothing in the end. Noah finished reading the information and stumbled to his feet. He regretted it and broke down. But he is already married to Luna. He will be firmly sucked by Luna and will never be able to escape in this life. Later, I heard that the two of them were beaten to a bloody pulp and then jumped down from the building holding each other. At that time, Song Yen-si and I were preparing for our wedding, only this time, I wasn't planning the wedding alone. Song Yen-si was afraid that I would be tired, so he took care of me everywhere. On the wedding day, I wore the wedding dress he designed himself. And I looked dazzling.